Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you can block more shots in basketball. So if you don't already know, I'm a very defensive basketball coach. I've written one defensive book, I'm writing a second one as well, and so going from there, there's some great ideas, some great tips, and some great skills that you need to have in your arsenal if you want to be able to block more shots in basketball. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so first off, make sure to stay right until the end of this video because there is a massive tip that I am showing you right at the end that is going to change the way you become a better basketball player and defensive player. First off, you don't need a basketball. What you need is the basketball back. That's right, we're trying to block a shot. So, what's the best way to block a shot? Well, some players think, okay, I can pin somebody on the backboard. Yeah, that's the best way. Well, it can be. It can be one of the better ways to play defense. However, you have now let your player go in for the layup and it has gotten past the point, possibly, as to where you can block this shot. So if somebody's going in for a layup, especially if I am going up against a taller player, I'm going to try and get it off as high as I can off the backboard. Now, of course, this backboard is not a square backboard, so you can't get it too high without really having it fly over top of the backboard, which makes you look silly. But if you're playing on a square rectangular backboard, like a glass backboard, for example, the offensive player, if he's going to go in for a layup against somebody taller, he's going to try and bounce it off as high as possible off that glass, which means that you're not going to be able to block that shot. So what you need to remember is if somebody is driving on you and they have picked up the ball, you know automatically that they have two steps that they can do. Now, if that player, for example, is going in for a layup, and he's just gone off, and you see that he is just about to leave that foot, start the jump if you're shorter. If you're not shorter, so if you're taller than the player that you're defending, you can wait until he's in the air to block him. And that gives you an advantage, which means as soon as he leaves that foot, you can go block that shot. However, if you're shorter like myself, I'm 6'2", I need to jump earlier, usually, than what this player is going in for. So, if that player first off is showing you the ball, like I just did right there, if I'm going in like this, without a protecting hand, block the crap out of that guy. Secondly, what you need to do is make sure that you time yourself where you're looking at his abdomen so that you can see his feet as well as where his ball is going. So if you see him not leave his foot, you're going to be able to know that, hey, this is going to be a fake. So yes, this is why players who are taller have more of a chance to get a layup or a dunk on a shorter player, is because that shorter player obviously needs to go and jump earlier, which means that that player who's going in for the layup, if he sees that defender jumping, can do a fake. However, something that I used to love to do as a basketball player basically beats out any player when it comes to blocking their shot. This is more of a steal than it is a blocked shot. So a lot of players, when they're going in for a layup, they bring the ball right to their stomach or to their chest, and then they go up from there, which is a huge mistake. When you're going up against a shorter player, you want to keep that ball as high as you can. So if you're taller, you want to go in for that layup like this. The reason is if you bring the ball down here, shorter players like myself are going to basically rip it and gone. Or what I like to do was if a player held it to their chest like this, a lot of coaches will say smack down on that. I don't. A lot of players will smack down, and it's going to be called a foul, whether or not you get that ball or not. The reason for that is because you're making a big action, and if you touch or even get close to touching that player because of your such a big action, the referees are going to call it. So what you need to do is poke it from underneath. So keep your hands down low. I know a lot of coaches say keep your hands up high. But if you're going to try and poke a ball from a guy, you don't want to be smashing down on it, because that can cause a foul, whether or not you hit his arm or not. What you need to do is, if he's coming this way, you need to poke that hand underneath. That way, for one, if you do hit his arm, it's not going to be seen by the referee. And second, you're going to be able to poke that ball a little bit easier, because we're all taught to hold the ball and our hands are usually underneath the ball or right on the side. We're never on top of the ball, which means that if you can go, because everyone smacks down on it, everyone's hands are underneath. So if you poke up from underneath, there's a higher chance of you stealing that ball. I hope that this is making sense. That way, you're able to get that ball before he even goes up for that shot. And that's the whole idea behind this video. It's not necessarily how to block a guy and pin him on the backboard, but it's to block the guy's shot before he even takes the shot himself. Now, if he's going out and he's taking a jump shot, what you need to do is not jump for every single fake that he has. The best way to block a shot, if somebody is taking a jump shot, is to contest the shot by stepping out and keeping your hand up. The reason for this is a lot of players, they'll go and jump out to try and block a shot from the perimeter, and now you're just causing an issue where you may be called for a foul, because he's just gonna be like, oh, this guy jumps, take that shot. And then in reality, you're now jumping into him and he's gonna get that foul. He's gonna get 3 shots, maybe 4. So what you need to do is stutter step out, contest that shot. You may still get that block, especially if you're taller. And then going from there, what can happen too is when you're stutter stepping out, now if he hasn't taken that shot, you can get big right in front of him. And if he does decide to take that fadeaway shot, if he's taking that fadeaway shot going like this, you can come up right beside him and block his shot, and you've got a fast break down to the other net. Anyways, I hope that this video has helped you become a better defensive basketball player. The tip that I was talking about earlier on in the video was the one where you poke the ball from underneath. This is something that a lot of players don't do, and this is something that you should do as a player. Instead of smacking down to try and block, poke up, and that way you can get the ball before he even takes that layup or that shot. I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another twice a day basketball video.